or more than 1,000 people who truly like what you are and what you do. And the internet has allowed you to do that. Digital marketing is a mechanism for you to go out there and find people who will be like willing to buy your stuff, whatever.
So, hello everyone, and welcome to the podcast on purpose with Monis Raaza. This is the episode number 3 of podcast on purpose with Monis Raaza. And today we have Sanjay Shenoy sir with us, and it's going to be super valuable and super awesome. First of all, I would like Sanjay sir you to introduce yourself to the audience first, so that we audience can know that who you are and have more clarity about you. So that after that we can begin the session with more awesome questions. And yeah, let's go, sir.
Yes, my name is Sanjay Shenoy. I am a trainer, marketer, and a blogger, particularly in that order. I consider myself a teacher first, and I love doing that. I teach people how to do SEO. I teach people how to create amazing content, and I've been doing that for about 3 years now. And I think in this 3-year journey, I have had the amazing opportunity to teach more than 10,000 people and touch 10,000 people's lives and influence their lives and give them a direction in terms of how to go ahead in terms of digital marketing in general, but more so with a focus on SEO and content. I also blog at sanjayshenoy.com, and I have been a digital marketer for more than 10 years now. I started in 2009, so I think it's been 12 years since I started off as a digital marketer, and I started off as a SEO freelancer. Then eventually I became a consultant. Then I started an agency, which was operational both in Bangalore and Singapore. And then, I quickly realized that I have a bunch of things to learn, especially in terms of running a business. So I started working with a bunch of startups and, both in the travel and the outdoor segment, events and event registrations, edtech, fintech, bunch of different kind of startups. Very interesting stuff. Learned a lot of things. And 2017, I jumped back into entrepreneurship and been doing that ever since.
Awesome, sir. So just like you mentioned that till now you have touched 10,000 plus lives. So what is your mission? Are you on a mission to help people, which I'm sure you are, but what is your mission? And if there is a mission, then what's the motive behind that mission?
Sure. I think what we need to understand is that India has a massive potential, right? So we have a lot of people here. And I think since I began my journey in digital marketing, I personally have had the privilege of being exposed to a lot of things at a very early age. So I started when I was just 19. I was still in college when I started, and I did a bunch of different things. I took risks, which I was able to because I was like still a kid, and which has allowed me to gain a lot of experience. Now, what I notice in the market out there is that there are people who know digital marketing, but there are a lot of missing parts in their skills. So I want to put India on the map in terms of the place for high quality digital marketers, right? It's not just about digital marketers, high quality digital marketers who can think both from a 10,000 foot view and from a very granular view also, and execute things properly in a proper way. And that's what drives me, and that's what has been my my objective whenever I'm teaching people also, right? So which is why whenever if you have like been part of any of my training, I teach it from a very fundamental level, from a very core level, so that my job is not to give you like step 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and just go out there and apply. No, my job is to help you, number one, understand what all of this is, so that you can go ahead and apply yourself, right? So I can't be there every single time. So, and that's how everything should be learned also, is what I truly believe in. So yeah, it's going great so far. And I am also learning while I'm teaching how I can do this in a better way. And I'm continuously experimenting with different courses, different models, different ways of teaching. And so far, it's been a great ride.
Awesome, sir. So just like you mentioned that you want to take digital marketing to a next level. So there is one question that I want to ask you, and I want to know your perspective on that thing. Sir, whenever I listen to many people, they be like that digital marketing तो हर एक individual कर रहा है, हर एक मतलब अगली गली पे अगले कूचे पे हर एक जगह digital marketer है, digital marketing expert है, and काफी ज़्यादा market saturated हो चुकी है. But I have a little different opinion on that thing. I usually think is that digital marketing इतनी ज्यादा बूम पे जा रही है, बट डिजिटल मार्केटर्स इतने ज्यादा नहीं है. व्हाई आई थिंक दैट थिंग? बिकॉज अगर डिजिटल मार्केटर्स इतने ज्यादा होते तो आज के टाइम पर ज्यादा लोगों को इस चीज के बारे में नॉलेज होती. या यू नो व्हाट आई यूजुअली फील, व्हाई दोस पीपल से, बिकॉज क्या होता है कि अब हम अपना नेटवर्क में देखेंगे, हमारे नेटवर्क में हर एक बंदा डिजिटल मार्केटिंग कर रहा है, हमारे कनेक्शंस उस तरह से हैं, वी थिंक दैट हर एक बंदा पूरे इंडिया में डिजिटल मार्केटिंग का नाम लगा रहा है, बट दैट्स नॉट द थिंग. सो दे बी लाइक मार्केट सैचुरेटेड है, अब हमको और डिजिटल मार्केटर्स नहीं चाहिए. सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट दिस सर?
Yeah, two aspects to this question rather. Number one is that, see, what is happening with digital marketing. This is also one of the reasons why I want to get into teaching, and that's what drives me also, right? So it's become like engineering or whatever, the engineering gold rush that happened a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
So I know many engineers who are not engineers at all, right? They have an engineering degree, but even if their life depended on it, they can't build a single thing, right? So, and that is what has happened in the digital marketing field also. Just because you call yourself a digital marketer doesn't necessarily mean that you're a good digital marketer. I can say this with a lot of confidence because I think I have taken more than 1,000 interviews in my life when I'm trying to hire people into my team in various places, various positions, various companies, and all of those things. And it used to be a massive struggle for me to like actually weed through people who claim to be digital marketers but have barely done anything for that matter, right? So
Right.
a lot of people just have like very theoretical knowledge about marketing and digital marketing precisely, and not many people have actually applied it. So just because a lot of people are doing digital marketing doesn't mean the market is saturated. There is still a massive, huge
True,
demand
true.
for solid digital marketers who can execute and get results for you, right? So there is still a massive demand out there for these kind of people. That's why I always tell people that if you want to become a digital marketer, the number one soft skill that you need to develop is reliability. You need to become a reliable digital marketer, not just a digital marketer, right? You can either become like a digital marketer or a reliable digital marketer who can get you results, right? So that is one side of the story. The other side of the story is that, so when people say that, oh, it's saturated, blah, 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 everyone is thinking about it from a perspective of digital marketing jobs, right? Now, the beauty of digital marketing as a skill rather is that you need not have to go for a job. You can apply it in various ways and actually use it to put yourself out there also, right? So you can yourself become a blogger, you can start your own business and know how to use marketing to grow your business. You can use it for other businesses. You can become a freelancer, you can start consulting companies, you can start an agency for yourself, or you can also go out there and get yourself a job also. So if you look at it from a purely job perspective, of course, the supply has far exceeded the demand out there, right? But that's not the case, right? So this is a skill. This is a skill that people need to acquire. And if you truly know, like going back to the first part of my answer, if you truly know how to apply digital marketing, trust me, you won't be looking for a job, right? Because you
True,
know the
true.
potential of
Exactly.
what you can do with digital marketing. So it'll be like, hey, why should I do this for someone else? I might as well do it for myself and like
That is the
do
thing.
whatever I want to, right?
Yep.
And so also, like, one of the other things that people really need to understand is that more than digital marketing, let's go one step higher, the power of the internet, right? What has happened today is that you can be anything you want, right? You can be anything you want, and you can actually find up to or more than 1,000 people who truly like what you are and what you do. And the internet has allowed you to do that. Digital marketing is a mechanism for you to go out there and find people who will be like willing to buy your stuff, whatever you might be doing, or seek your services or whatever it is, right? It can be anything under the sun. And you're not restricted to your location, which used to be the case before internet came along, right? Well, if you're good at something, say you're a good singer, so you were largely restricted by location, but now that's not the case. You can just put up your stuff on the internet and like, go out there and do a bunch of different things. So yeah, I think it's a very myopic way of looking at the digital marketing industry.
True.
I want people to look at it as a skill which they can apply and grow themselves.
Yeah, sir. Just like you mentioned now, that अगर आपको digital marketing सही में आती है, then you no need to look for a job. Because when I started my journey, 16 months back, my parents be like that. अगर ये जो तू कर रहा है वो ना हो पाए, then what you will do? I was like, मैं different चीज try करूंगा. It was like, then तुझे फिर job ढूंढना ही पड़ेगा. मैंने कहा अगर मतलब मैं लगातार हारता गया, हर महीने हर दिन मैं हारता भी जाऊं ना, तब भी मुझे जॉब ढूंढने की जरूरत नहीं है. एंड स्टिल इफ आई वांट टू लुक फॉर अ जॉब, मैं डिजिटल मार्केटिंग में कुछ कर सकता हूं. मेरे को और कहीं देखने की जरूरत नहीं है. बिकॉज मैं कंटिन्यूसली अप्लाई कर रहा था एंड मैं वो मेरा विजन ब्रॉड होता चला जा रहा था. आई वाज लाइक मैं ये भी कर सकता हूं. आई कैन डू ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स. मतलब एक अपॉर्चुनिटीज नेक्स्ट लेवल है. सो दैट इज
Yeah.
one part of that thing. And second question that I want to ask you, sir, is that what's happening is that in India, podcasting is growing continuously, grow कर रही है. And what people are usually doing is they want to look for guests जो कि उनके podcast पे आ सके और उनको वो interview कर सके, उनके साथ वो conversation discussion कर सके and all those things. But what they usually feel is they be like that मेरे साथ कोई podcast पे नहीं आएगा. Because क्यों? Because मेरे followers नहीं है, मेरे 10,000 followers नहीं, मेरे 20,000 followers नहीं, मेरे साथ कोई podcast करने नहीं आएगा. Sir, I want to know from you. जब स्टार्टिंग में आई थिंक हमारी एक बार पहले कन्वर्सेशन हुई थी जब मैंने स्टार्ट किया था. आई जस्ट स्टार्टेड एंड आई इनवाइटेड यू एज माय गेस्ट ऑन माय इंस्टाग्राम लाइव एंड यू एक्सेप्टेड दैट. नाउ सर यू आल्सो हैव टू डू लॉट्स एंड लॉट्स ऑफ थिंग. सो नाउ सर व्हाट इज योर मतलब आपका क्या, जब आपने मुझे एक्सेप्ट किया तब आपने क्या देख के एक्सेप्ट किया था, सो दैट ऑडियंस कैन नो दैट जब एक इंडिविजुअल जिसको तुम इनवाइट भेज रहे हो वो क्या देखता है एक इनवाइट में कि क्यों वो एक्सेप्ट करता है. क्या वो ये देखता है कि इसके 10K फॉलोअर्स हैं मैं चले जाता हूँ, या इसने मुझे मतलब व्हाट यू सी इन इंडिविजुअल व्हेन ही और शी इनवाइट्स यू टू बी अ पॉडकास्ट गेस्ट और एन थ्रू और फॉर एन इंस्टाग्राम लाइव और यूट्यूब लाइव.
I don't know about others, but not many people invite me. So I was like, oh, wow, cool, let's do it. So,
Got it.
so I'm being very serious,
Yeah,
right?
I got it, got
So
it.
what I'm trying to say is that there might not be as many people requesting for someone for a podcast or an interview or a Zoom or whatever it is, as much as you think they are, right? So you might as well take a chance, and you miss 100% of the chances, shots that you don't take, right?
True,
So you
true,
just
true.
send me a message. I was like, yeah, cool, I'm free. And of course, we had to reschedule it like 10,000 times because like I had
Yep.
like 10,000 other things happening, but we still made it happen, right?
Yep, yep,
So,
yep.
yes, but yes, you need to understand it from their perspective also. Not everyone might be willing or comfortable to come and talk over a podcast, and not everyone would have the time and liberty to do it also. So, the idea is to like, see, first, what I want you to, everyone who's like starting to, planning to do a podcast or whatever it is, or anything for that matter, right? So, what is in it for them, right? It need not have to be followers to get started with, but what is in it for them? What kind of value can you bring? What kind of questions can you ask? What kind of value can you provide to the person who you're inviting that will actually allow them to accept you? So you slowly start from there. Not everyone is going to accept your offer for sure, and it's fine. It's absolutely fine. You do it with whoever you can to start with, and then slowly you start doing it. So ultimately, you will reach a point where people will start noticing you, and all the big guns will start like saying yes to you also, right? You can't expect like someone who is like has a massive following to say yes to you with the get go, right? So that's not that, and it's completely okay also. So whatever you're starting with, first give it a shot. You might not know how many people are asking for that person also, and there might not be enough people who are is asking that. If they say yes, no, whatever, then take it from there. Don't try to like limit yourself by saying that okay, that person might say no, right? Let that person say no. Let that
Exactly.
person do the saying no part. You don't do that. Do it for yourself, right? So
Exactly.
just take the shot chance, take the shot. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, move on and keep doing. Whoever says yes in the beginning, keep doing it. So what I noticed in your this thing was that you have been doing whatever you have been doing for quite some time now. There is some amount of consistency in what you're doing, right? So that's a good sign for me that it's you're not someone who's gonna like. I think we did our Instagram live quite a long time ago. I
Yep,
don't
yep, yep.
remember exactly.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
been almost 10 months when I started doing Instagram
yeah,
live with different people. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's been 10 months, and you when you reached out to me again, I was like, wow, this guy's still doing it. Not bad at all, right? That consistency actually nudged me towards saying yes to you. I mean, I do get a lot of people asking for all of these kind of things, but I just say no because what happens is most of them they just get this hype, they just get this energy saying that you know what, I'm going to start doing this, and they there is no consistency over there. If I see some sort of consistency in anybody, I'm more likely to say yes.
Exactly. And I also done the same thing when I started now. So I was like that अब आपके तक पहुंचना था मुझे. So आपने अचानक मतलब तब आप आप Instagram पे इतना ज़्यादा एक्टिव नहीं रहते हो. So आपका मेन चीज बैकएंड पे जो मैंने ऑब्जर्व किया कि बैकएंड है. मैंने कहा Instagram पे रिप्लाई आएगा नहीं आएगा. But I was like that let's try ना. नहीं आया तो बाद में देखा जाएगा. ईमेल वगैरह पे अप्रोच वगैरह करेंगे. Then I did and like reply आया and we did an Instagram live. Then I was like अभी आर्य सर को भी मुझे अप्रोच करना था. मैं काफी टाइम से ट्राई कर रहा था कंसिस्टेंटली कि अप्रोच करूंगा बट कोई रिप्लाई नहीं आ रहा था. देन जब मेरा आपके साथ इंस्टाग्राम लाइव मैंने जब अभी आर्य सर को अप्रोच किया. मैंने कहा मेरा संजय शनॉय के सर के साथ भी मैंने इंटरव्यू किया है. देन मतलब मैंने वो फैक्टर को उधर लाया. सो एक क्रेडिबिलिटी इंक्रीज हुई कि नहीं यार बंदा कुछ कर रहा है. फिर उन्हें चेकआउट वगैरह किया. फिर हमारा इंटरेक्शन हुई. सो वही है ना कि ट्राई यू हैव टू गिव इट अ शॉट. बिकॉज मैं भी यही चीज करता था जब स्टार्टिंग में इंस्टाग्राम लाइव किया. अभी पॉडकास्ट भी किया. आई जस्ट डू दिस थिंग बिकॉज इफ यू नेवर ट्राई द आंसर विल ऑलवेज बी नो ना. कि यार तुमने पूछा ही नहीं कभी. इफ यू नेवर आस्क्ड द आंसर विल ऑलवेज बी नो. सो या दैट्स व्हाट पीपल नीड टू डू. एग्जैक्टली.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And the next question is I would like to know from you. Actually, tomorrow I had one interaction with people, in an individual, and हम ट्विटर पे इंटरेक्ट कर रहे थे. एक डिफरेंट इंडिविजुअल कोड था. हम उस पे इंटरेक्ट करना स्टार्ट किए. थोड़ी हमारी कन्वर्सेशन थोड़ी ज्यादा आगे चले गई. एंड द कन्वर्सेशन वाज अराउंड that when you are at the top or when you are at some level जहां आपको कुछ इंडिविजुअल जो है वो आपको नीचे खींचने का ट्राई कर रहे हैं कंसिस्टेंटली. दे आर ट्राइंग टू पुल यू डाउन. वो आपको डिफेम करने का ट्राई कर रहे हैं. तो आप क्या करोगे? I think there is one individual, there is one influencer who is like that. I would prefer मेरे ethics में टॉप पे रखूंगा. एंड मैं उस इंडिविजुअल जो वो कर रहा है मेरे साथ मैं उसके लेवल तक नहीं आऊंगा. मैं उसके लेवल तक नहीं गिरूंगा. देयर इज सेकंड इंडिविजुअल हु इज लाइक दैट नहीं यार इतना तो करना चाहिए. आई वाज लाइक नहीं यार आई वुड ऑलवेज प्रेफर. ही वाज वन ऑफ माय फ्रेंड. आई वाज लाइक दैट नहीं यार मैं आई वुड ऑलवेज प्रेफर इग्नोरिंग दैट इंडिविजुअल. अगर कोई इंडिविजुअल मेरे को नीचे खींच रहा है तो मैं ये नहीं करूंगा कि मैं भी उसको नीचे खींचूंगा एंड उसकी तरह सेम करूंगा. ही वाज लाइक नहीं यार जब टॉप पे होते हैं तब यही चीज होती है. इस तरह होता है. एंड ये हमारी कन्वर्सेशन चल रही थी. देन हमारी थोड़ी एक और आगे कन्वर्सेशन हुई. आई वाज लाइक नहीं आई वुड ऑलवेज प्रेफर डूइंग द गुड थिंग्स, डूइंग द राइट थिंग फॉर मी एंड कीपिंग माय एथिक्स above everything else. चाहे मेरा लॉस हो रहा है. and he was like चाहे तू अगर सड़क पे आ जा still you will do the same thing. So I was like yeah I will do the same thing. So yeah maybe he's watching but yeah I want to know from you that what is your perspective because we will like that अगर हम किसी भी इंडिविजुअल से इंटरेक्ट करेंगे हम उनसे पूछेंगे कि यार आपका क्या पर्सपेक्टिव है. what do you think in this scenario? So yeah.
Oh, well, I think this has bothered a lot of people for a long time. And there's no like black and white answer to this, right? Because primarily because morality is a very subjective issue. What is right for you might not be right for me. What is wrong for you might not be wrong for me. Yes. And it's different things for different people, right? Having said that, do I have an option of punching the guy? If yes, I can do that. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'll probably not do that. But what I'm trying to say is that, see, first of all, of course, people are going to try to defame you. Of course, people are trying to like pull you down. Of course, people are going to like see what is like society in general. What they try to do is that they want you to be at their level as much as possible. Because if you go above them, then they are somehow indirectly forced to like or pressurized into growing themselves also. And like society is optimizing itself for the lowest denominator as much as possible. Who is the lowest denominator? Let's try to optimize the entire society as per that person. Because society goes as fast as the slowest person does, right? Not as the fastest person does, right? So if the person starts to go much faster than you are, obviously everybody is trying to like hold you back because they're saying that hey why are you going first when all of us are like trying to like maintain a certain speed or in terms of growth and all of those things. So of course there is going to be these kind of things which in itself is a validation that you're going in the right direction. So every time something like this happens to me I'll be like oh wow, so it looks like I'm like doing the right thing because somebody's like trying to like pull me down. And nothing unsavory has happened as of now to me, but you have this trolls, they keep telling shit and all of those things. Some of them are very funny. I laugh it off. Some of the way they troll and all that is very funny. I was like, wow, that's a good one. See, I love a good troll. Okay. I love a good roast. I love a good troll. If somebody is trying to like make fun of me, do it like you mean it. Right. And I will actually laugh with you. I'll be like, man, that's a good one. That's a really, really good one. I remember like, I think a month or 2 months ago, this guy had posted some comment on one of my ads. I forgot what it was, but it was like, it was so offensive to a point. It was funny. Like I was like, wow, man, that was like really funny. I'm gonna like, and I responded to him also. I was like, man, that was super funny. Like, thanks for that. But and I went ahead and explained also. And also, what you need to understand is uh, a lot of people when they try to do this, they are doing it from a place of ignorance and not from a place of bad intentions.
Mhm.
Okay, they don't know a lot of things, which is why they are like, when you don't know what happens, you're scared, you're like, you get into that fight or flight response. So usually
Mhm.
they fight, right? So that's what they're trying to do, right? So they come from a place of ignorance. And I have seen it so many times that when I actually speak to them nicely and say that I try to explain it to them, they immediately calm down. They immediately calm down and they're like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say it like that. I'm feeling so bad, blah, blah, blah. And they immediately realize it because that person is coming from a place of ignorance and not from bad intentions at all. So, yeah, this is what I think about everything.
Got it. And I have also done the same thing. As far मतलब जितनी मेरी journey रही है, मैंने हमेशा ignore करना prefer किया है, और I responded in a positive manner. अब whenever I read, people be like, तू क्या हमको सिखाएगा, तू तो खुद इतना सा, and all that stuff usually happens. I was like, okay man, thank you so much, really respect that. And some people abuse, but मैं completely ignore करता हूँ, या मैं उसको एक अच्छे वे में response कर देता हूँ. But yeah, that is what I usually prefer doing. But yeah, that is about that thing. Yeah. So moving on to the next important question. Uh, if you are in a situation, if you are in this situation, let's consider that you are at the top, like in the place of Ambani's, Tata's, Birlas, and what would you prefer? Actually, I want to know that thing. That would you prefer doing the bad things to them? Uh, you know going what do you prefer? Do you prefer doing the bad things to them, because when you are in the top, things are totally different. So agar aap apne aap ko scenario mein consider
Bad
karo,
things
to
to
what will
whom?
you do? Sorry.
Bad things to whom? Bad
uh
things to whom?
the people who are trying to pull you down.
No, man, come on. Why would I try to do bad things? I mean, it's a never-ending ordeal. It's a
Yeah.
never-ending thing. I mean, you wouldn't want to waste your time doing
uh,
that. That's really
uh,
stupid,
uh,
right? The best thing, I mean, see, you put your best foot forward. There are people who are going to like, be offended by certain things, not happy with certain things, and it's
mm,
just like keep moving on. It's a great system. That's how it should be. I feel.
yeah, yeah.
Sometimes these kind of things also kind of keeps you in check. Also,
uh, uh,
I always tell that to myself, like, not everyone is going to be happy with you, and the people who are not happy with you are the people who are keeping you in check. Because otherwise, you'll be like somewhere else, right? Uh, so they keep you grounded and they keep you like, of course there's it's a never ending thing. If you try to go behind them and try to
yeah,
do
yeah,
bad
yeah.
things, why would
Hmm.
you want to do like bad things to people? Of course not.
Got it. Okay, so the next thing is, if you talk about you're not creating that content. So what's the reason behind that? And second, do you ever feel left out by not creating content? Because in the back end, you're doing, super awesome things. But have you ever felt that, yeah, let's start creating content or something like that. Let's start doing a podcasting, start doing YouTubing in a more, in total next level. So what do you, think about this?
Yeah, I want to, and I will do it.
Mm-hmm.
And my approach to content is very different, right?
Okay.
uh Whatever I do,
Uh-huh.
I put my best foot forward, right? And I don't want to ever create content for the sake of creating content, which seems to be the case for most people out there, right?
Mm,
They're just creating content for the sake of creating content. Every content that I've put out there has come out from a place of providing value to my audience, right? And even if you see I have close to 30,000 email subscribers, close to 10,000 followers on
mm,
Instagram. I'm happy with that, right? These guys are like
mm,
solid people. These are not
mm,
like random followers, especially my email subscribers. Most of them are also my customers. And
mm,
I might probably send one or two newsletters every month, but people really, really love it, which is probably why my open rates is twice the industry average at close to 30%. My click-through rates is like at around 5 to 6%, which is unheard of, right? So, and I
mm,
would like to keep it that way also. The idea is to not like continuously bombard people. And my approach to content is, hey, if you want to create content because you should be creating content, then it's wrong. But if you're creating content because you have to provide value to your audience, then it's good. But if you want to provide value to your audience, 80 to 90% of your content creation time goes into thinking, right? So it actually goes into thinking. You have to think through it, let it brew, let it be more articulate. Something that I thought in like 4 months ago, suddenly it like connects to something that I'm doing or thinking about today. So then I put it out there in a way. So I'm like working on a bunch of different things.
Hmm.
And eventually I will get into all of these things also, right? I want to like, probably this is the year where I'll be starting. So I was focusing on my blogs last year, and blogs and email marketing. That is, stabilized a lot. So has my Instagram. I'm very happy with that. And now eventually I want to like, notch it up a little bit. I've created a process. I know how to scale it now. I'll keep scaling that while I focus on, say, YouTube and podcasting and all of those kind of things. I don't know. If for every time a person asks me to start a podcast, I think I would like, there are so many people who have asked me to do that. But I
Uh,
know what I'm doing. I know when
yeah,
to
yeah.
do it. And
Mhm.
I'm never going to do it just because someone else is asking me to do it. And I'm never going to do it because I have to do it.
Got it, got it. And the main reason why I asked this question is that there are many people who feel so guilty that वो content create नहीं कर रहे हैं just because वो content create कर रहा है, वो content create कर रहा है, वो content create कर रहा है, मैं content create नहीं कर रहा हूँ. But that is why I want to know मैं आपका perspective जानना चाहता हूँ that यार आप किस तरह feel करते हो when you are not creating content and you're doing bunch of things in the back end that is giving you enormous growth, so that people can know that if you're not creating content, it's not कि यार हाँ इतना तो है, कुछ कर तो रही हो, इतना होना चाहिए कि कुछ कर रहे हो तुम. It doesn't has to be कि यार तुम फ्रंट एंड पे आके लगातार कंटेंट बम्बार्ड कर रहे हो, बिकॉज मेरी जर्नी हमेशा ये रही है दैट मैं कंटेंट ज्यादा पोस्ट करता हूँ. आई एम फुल टाइम कंटेंट क्रिएटर, पॉडकास्ट सब कुछ जा रहा है, चीजें उस तरह मेरे लिए ऑप्टिमाइज हो चुकी हैं. बट फॉर पीपल जो कि इतने फेमिलियर नहीं है ज्यादा कंटेंट क्रिएशन से, अब हर एक इंडिविजुअल गैरी वी जितना कंटेंट क्रिएट नहीं कर सकता है. वो एक नेक्स्ट लेवल कंटेंट क्रिएशन होती है जहां पूरी टीम है
And
गैरी
it's
वी.
okay. And
या
it's okay.
या
And it's okay for you not to create that level of content
हाँ.
also, right? That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. And
हम्म.
that's probably one reason where I might disagree with Gary Vee is that I
हाँ.
think he pressurizes people too much into creating content. I know what he's trying to say, and again, he comes from a great place,
हाँ.
and he's trying to say that what content creation is so easy today. Just put things out there. But
हम्म.
I think people misread him. People
ट्रू ट्रू
misread him
ट्रू.
into thinking that hey, you know
हाँ.
what? I have to create content because Gary Vee has asked me to create
Yep,
content.
yep, yep.
No, you have to create content because you have to add value. And
Hmm.
there are plenty of people who have told me, and people respond to me on emails. People
Hmm.
respond to me. They write separate emails to me saying that,
Hmm.
you know what? I love your stuff. I love your content. I love how we have gone into depth so much. And more importantly, I have a business to run, right? That is also there.
Yep,
And that
yep,
is
yep.
my primary thing, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, every time I create content, I make sure that I bring out the best from it, and I really enjoy that process, and I do every day. And it's just that you might not be able to see it uh you know out there in the public as much as
Hmm.
possible, but there is content being created which is being consumed by a certain group of people.
एग्जैक्टली. एंड गैरी वी की वो चीज को लोगों ने पूरा रॉन्ग ले लिया है, बिकॉज गैरी वी की, अब मैंने गैरी वीरनचक का बहुत ज्यादा कंटेंट कंज्यूम किया, मतलब यूट्यूब पे जितना है उसका मैंने 70% तो कंज्यूम किया ही किया, बिकॉज मैं उधर से ही मेरा माइंडसेट में थोड़ा चेंज आया था. बट मैंने इतना किया, मैंने गैरी वी की हर एक चीज को पकड़ा है. अब ये नहीं कि गैरी वी, बिकॉज स्टार्टिंग मैंने ये सेम चीज की गलती की दैट आई वाज लाइक दैट गैरी वी बोलते हैं हर जगह कंटेंट पोस्ट करना है. आई स्टार्टेड क्रिएटिंग कंटेंट ऑल ओवर सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म, बट थिंग्स डिडंट वर्क फॉर मी. देन आई वाच मोर वीडियोस. जो मेन मोटिव है कि तुम सिर्फ क्रिएट करो बाय कंसिस्टेंसी. गैरी वी का मतलब ये नहीं है कि तुम हर दिन कंटेंट क्रिएट करो. बाय कंसिस्टेंसी तुम
Yeah,
हर हफ्ते में एक बार पोस्ट करो, उसको हर हफ्ते करो. दैट इज व्हाट कंसिस्टेंसी
yeah,
मीन. बट लोग उसको गलत वे में ले जाते हैं
absolutely.
एंड देन दे फील यार मैं कर नहीं
Yeah,
रहा, आई एम नॉट डूइंग सो या.
yeah. Don't beat yourself too much about it. It's
हाँ.
fine. And see, what you need to understand is that if you're getting into this game, I know that I have gotten into this game with the mindset that I'll be doing this for the next 10 years, right? So I'm in no hurry to go out there and create content, but I know that I will reach a point where the amount of content I have would have compounded to a point that it looks like, my God, this guy is creating so much content. That would happen because I would be creating content on a consistent basis, not necessarily every day, but on a consistent basis, like you rightly said, probably every once a week, once every 2, 3 days, or whatever it is, right?
Yep.
And you need to allow that content to compound for you to start seeing exponential results. And that is what happened to Gary Vee. That is what has happened. Everything in life you want to achieve can be, should be achieved and only can be achieved through compounding. Nothing else happens apart from that, right? So you need to allow your content to actually compound and give you so much leverage that probably in like 5, 6, 7 years, you start seeing those kind of results. So you should be willing to like put in that effort for that long for it to compound and start seeing results. So the problem, the other side of the problem is people are just slamming content like every single day and they're burning out. And the reason why they're burning out is because they're being impatient with the results. So they're like, okay, I'm doing so much. Why am I not seeing any kind of results? Right? You won't see it. You're not allowing that content to compound. You're not allowing you to iterate your content, your approach, and most importantly, you're being selfish with your content creation. You are doing it because you have to do it. You have to grow. You have to get more likes, views, followers, business, whatever it is, right? The whole thing is about you. The That is the main problem. Your content creation should always be about, hey, your customers. How can I add value to your customers? How can I make their lives better? As long as you keep doing this consistently over a period of time, you will start seeing results.
Exactly, and I think that is what has happened with me over the past couple of months, because at first I was just creating content, but then I was like, what's the result I'm getting? मतलब हो क्या रहा है, मतलब कब मैं जा कहाँ रहा हूँ? ये जब मैंने ये चीज सोची, जब मैंने कुछ मेंटोर्स को फॉलो करना स्टार्ट किया, सिद्धार्थ राजशेखर, राहुल भटनागर ने एक मेजर रोल प्ले किया, जहां मुझे एक शिफ्ट मिला कि नहीं यार कुछ डिफरेंट करना है. दैट्स व्हेन एक कम्युनिटी बिल्डिंग के ऊपर फोकस किया, फिर नेक्स्ट लास्ट फ्यू मंथ से फ्रीलांसिंग के ऊपर फोकस किया, कुछ चीजें बिल्ड करना शुरू किया, ना कि सिर्फ कंटेंट ही क्रिएट कर रहा हूँ और रिजल्ट्स कुछ दिख नहीं रहे हैं. बिकॉज फॉलोअर्स एंड लाइक्स आर नॉट द रिजल्ट्स. रिजल्ट्स आर कि तुम्हारी कम्युनिटी है, तुम्हारे पास कुछ इंडिविजुअल है जो कि तुम्हें सपोर्ट करते हैं, या तुम्हें सिर्फ दिख रहा है कि नहीं मेरे फॉलोअर नंबर तो इंक्रीज होते जा रहे हैं, बट एंड में आई थिंक दैट दोस फॉलोअर्स नंबर डजंट मैटर. एक्चुअली में व्हाट आई हैव ऑब्जर्व्ड इज दैट जो लोग सिर्फ अपने देखते हैं कि उनके फॉलोअर्स नंबर इंक्रीज हो रहे हैं एंड उनके ऊपर डिपेंडेंट रहते हैं, थिंग्स डोंट वर्क फॉर देम. बिकॉज अगर किसी के 10,000 20 50,000 फॉलोअर्स हैं, कुछ ही इंडिविजुअल होंगे जहां तक उनकी पोस्ट पहुंच रही है, जहां तक उनकी स्टोरी के व्यूज जा रहे हैं, और वो उससे आउटपुट नहीं निकाल पाएंगे जितना वो फॉलोअर्स के ऊपर एफर्ट डाल रहे हैं. सो पीपल नीड टू थिंक अबाउट इट, बट इन द स्टार्टिंग आई थिंक दे कैन गो फॉर इट, बट स्टिल एट सम पॉइंट दे नीड टू थिंक अबाउट इट दैट वो कर क्या रहे हैं अपनी कंटेंट क्रिएशन जर्नी के साथ, क्या उनको रिजल्ट मिलने वाले हैं.
Yeah, absolutely. And see, for my objective of content creation also is not to get followers, is to get customers. And I've gotten plenty of them, right? So that is my focus. My metric is always very simple. What the ultimate metric for whatever content you're creating is, hey, if I'm putting this much effort, how much am I getting back from it, right? For me, that is the only metric. How many customers am I getting, and how can I optimize for that? Right? And that is going great for me, to be very honest. Like a lot of people might not even know that I have so many customers in the back end, but I
Yep,
do. And the
yep,
reason why that is happening is my focus is on getting customers, not on followers.
yep,
Right.
yep.
And it needs to be the same for most people also, right? A lot of people say that, you know what, getting attention is the most important skill to have these days in social media, blah, 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 all of those things. I don't believe in that, because getting attention is very easy. You can go ahead and do stupid things and get attention also, right? But that's not the kind of attention you want. What you require is the right kind of attention. More importantly, the real skill that you need to develop is how can you convert that attention into a transaction. So if you know how to convert that attention into a transaction, you don't need that many people. You just, going back to my first point again, you just need 1,000, 2,000 people. That's it. As long as you're just focusing on those people, you'll lead a very happy life without burning yourself out, making enough money, and getting all the success you want.
Exactly. And sir, the next question is, uh, I want you to consider, let's consider me here. When in December 2019, November, December, I was at the position where I have no clue what I am going to do, क्या होगा क्या नहीं होगा, किस तरह मैं क्या चीज करूंगा. बस ये था कि एक माइंड में वीडियोस क्रिएट करेंगे और इंस्टाग्राम पे पोस्ट करेंगे, उससे आपको रेवेन्यू आना स्टार्ट होगा. मतलब ये मेरे माइंड में आइडिया था स्टार्टिंग में, ये मैं करूंगा, इससे मतलब मेरे को पैसे आना स्टार्ट हो जाएंगे. बट थिंग्स वर टोटली डिफरेंट व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड. नाउ फॉर पीपल who are just starting, who are just like me when I was starting, what skills you want to recommend them कि यार तुम इन चीजों के ऊपर फोकस करो, this path you can follow. Now हर एक इंडिविजुअल के लिए थोड़े टाइम बाद चीजें सारी डिफरेंट होने वाली हैं, but still not that they can start doing something or the other, जो कि इस डिजिटल मार्केटिंग के एरा में कुछ ना कुछ स्टार्ट करना चाहते हैं अपना, ग्राफिक डिजाइनिंग, वीडियो एडिटिंग, समथिंग और the other. So what skills you want to
Sure.
recommend to them, a path that they can follow and then they can move ahead?
Yeah. So I think what people can do is learn how to build a digital asset. It can be any asset, right? It can be a blog, a website, a YouTube channel, an Instagram page, or whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
Learn how to grow that. And you need to, uh, when you're growing that also, don't grow it with an intention of monetizing it and all. That is where the biggest mistake is, right?
Mhm.
And believe it or not, the lesser you try to monetize it in the beginning, the more you will get to monetize later on, right? Although I said the converting that attention into transaction is a very important skill to get, the first step is to get the attention also, right? So you need to
Mm.
like build that attention,
True,
build
true.
that audience, and you need to do it very, 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 very slowly. It's a slow burn process. Don't try
Mm.
to like go like whoop, like that, go like
Mhm.
very slowly, because what is happening while you're doing this is you are getting this continuous feedback loop, right? You're putting something out there, your audience is saying that, hey, you know what, this is great, this is not great, this is good, this is bad, whatever it is, you're continuously getting that feedback. And you need to continuously come back, iterate it, change it, put it back again, get feedback, come back, change it, iterate it, put it back again, get feedback. You need to continuously do this for a very, very, very long time, right? Until you have reached a point where the skill that you're trying to develop, be it graphic designing, video, content creation, whatever, has reached a point and allowed it to compound, so that now people start looking at you as an expert or someone who can get the same amount of work done in a very short period of time. That is when you need to start learning how to convert that attention into a transaction. That is where sales comes into the picture, right? Right?
Mm.
How can you sell? If you know how to sell, if you know how to write, you are sorted, right? So that is the main thing that you need to focus on. Most importantly, around this, you need to be patient.
Exactly. Patience is the key. And sir, for people who are just starting and they have no knowledge regarding कि इस field में क्या है, क्या नहीं है, sir, how they can acquire knowledge? Because on internet इन्फॉर्मेशन इज अवेलेबल एवरीवेयर, देयर इज नो डाउट अबाउट दैट. यूट्यूब पे जो भी इन्फॉर्मेशन है, गूगल पे भर भर के इन्फॉर्मेशन है. आई 2015 से लेके 2020-21 में डबल ट्रिपल नेक्स्ट लेवल इन्फॉर्मेशन आ चुकी है यूट्यूब पे, इतने ज्यादा कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स आ चुके हैं. बट स्टिल व्हेन समवन वांट्स टू स्टार्ट, आई फील के उनको एक डायरेक्शन नहीं मिल पाती है. दे आर नॉट एबल टू गेट दैट डायरेक्शन के करूं तो करूं मैं क्या. सो सर, व्हाट इज द वे फॉर पीपल टू गेट दैट डायरेक्शन फ्रॉम यूट्यूब और मे बी फ्रॉम एनीवेयर?
Like I said, see, more than direction, you don't have context, right? So you're consuming information without context, right? When you create a digital asset and focus on building that, right, you will then realize, okay, I'm trying to do this, but I don't know how to do it. So I'm going to go to YouTube, check it out, learn it, come back, apply. Now I applied this happened, you got feedback from the audience, from the market, from whatever you're doing. You come back and like say that, okay, this is what I need to do now. Do I know this? Yes, no, then go back to YouTube, learn, right? So you need to have context for your learning. That is the biggest problem that people have, right? They're trying to consume information without having any kind of context whatsoever. That is what has happened in our schools also, right? We had zero context about what we are trying to learn. We didn't know where or how we could apply all of these things that we are learning. And that's the same thing that is happening today also, right? You go to YouTube, you have plenty of information, like you rightly said. When I go to YouTube, try to learn something that I don't know, I know exactly what I want to learn and I know why I should learn that. Right. So which is why I'm not like wasting too much time also. So immediately my learning curve is shortened dramatically because there is context to it. I know what I want to learn. I'm not trying to solve a problem that has not even happened now. Right. So I'm not trying to get ahead of myself and try to solve a problem that is not even there in front of me. So build an asset, any kind of asset, blog, website, app, whatever it is, depending on what your interest lies in, you do it, try to grow it. When you're growing it, you will have the right context for you to seek that information and grow accordingly, and then develop your skill, develop your asset, develop yourself also.
Exactly. I think that is the way for people. And so just like you mentioned, there is one point that schools don't give us the context that what we are learning. I spent almost 18 years in my school, and after that, I was like that. Ab kya? Now what I'm going to do? I have no idea that मैं क्या करने वाला हूँ. Some people like ये कर लो, तुमने इतने marks score कर दिए, because I was that student जो कि इसने 10 में score कर दिए, इसने 12 में score कर दिए. Now parents, people all around us be like, ये कर लो, तुम्हारे लिए ये better रहेगा, उसने इसमें कर दिया, तुम इसमें कर दो. Now for people who are in the same situation, I was at the same position also. Now what I did, I was like कि I'm not going to do any further studies. I'm totally okay with where I am. I know what I'm doing. Because क्या हुआ अचानक, I think मतलब अचानक सब चीजें हो रही थी. Because दिसंबर 2019 को मेरे एग्जाम्स कंप्लीट हुए. उसके बाद क्या हुआ अचानक मार्च तक मैं सोच रहा था कि यार मैं एग्जीक्यूट करूंगा थोड़ी बहुत चीजों को, कंटेंट वगैरह क्रिएट करता हूँ एंड देन देखेंगे कॉलेज वगैरह जाने का. बट देन अचानक लॉकडाउन वगैरह हो गया एंड मेरे को और टाइम मिल गया चीजों को इंप्लीमेंट करने का. एंड विद इन दैट पीरियड I was like, अब तो I think completely I don't need to go to college for me because I have a clear path, clear vision for me कि यार मैं ये करूंगा फिर ये होगा फिर इस तरह चीजें एग्जीक्यूट करते चले जाऊंगा मैं. But for people who are just coming out of school or maybe coming out of college, they have no direction. So sir, what is your one advice to them, because you have interacted with so many people, आपने इतने ज़्यादा लोगों से interact किया, so you must know some things that क्या चीजें वो face करते हैं and what they actually are suffering from. So what is your advice to them? What do you want to recommend to them, those people?
See, nobody has direction. Like usually in their age, nobody has direction. I think I had some amount of direction, but I see the way I approached it was like, you know what, I have to do something. So let's go try out a bunch of different things. I tried like hundreds of things. Most of them failed. Eventually, I bumped into SEO, which seemed to click. Right. So that is the simplest way to put it is you take a bunch of stuff, throw it in the air, see what sticks, see what stinks. Right. Whatever sticks, you take it and you scale it for the next. So what I recommend people who are getting out of college is like spend, or while you're in college also you can do it. That's not a problem at all. Right. Spend like 3 4 5 years trying to do different things, trying to understand where your interest lies in and what you're good at, what comes very naturally to you. Right. So you need to be able to do that. It's not about knowing what to do, it's about knowing what not to do. Right. So it's very important that you come to an understanding what not to do. You know what, I don't like doing this, I don't like doing this, I don't like doing this, but I really love doing this. Once you figure that out, then you can like take it to the next level and say that, you know what, next 5 years from there, I'm just going to spend all my time, effort, and energy in trying to make this skill really, really good. Right. So next 5 years, I'm just going to like spend this. So you need to have that kind of a time frame for you to develop yourself. And that is the kind of time frame you need also. Otherwise, it's not going to like work out for you. So yeah.
Got
Also,
it.
Monis, I just want to like let you know that I just have another probably 2 3 minutes left. I have another call that I need to
Yeah.
jump into. So
Yeah, sure, sir. Sir, just last question to you is, what is your message to the audience, and just one example of patience from your life where you felt like where you felt like giving up, but you didn't give up. If there is one example from your life and the message to the audience which you want to give at last.
yeah, sure. I think the message is pretty simple. You really need to put in the effort. Okay. So nothing out there is going to be easy. And that's the beauty of it. Right. And that is the beauty of it. It is going to be challenging. That challenge itself is the beauty. Right. Otherwise, it's going to be extremely boring for you. You need to like find yourself something that you're good at, but at the same time, which is very challenging also. Right. And when I say patience, for the first 2 years, when I told you, right, I was trying a bunch of different things. 2 years, my pocket money was like not more than 50 60 rupees. I used to spend 30 rupees out of it every single day. I used to live alone. I'd take care of my food, my bus, all of those things, right? In that 50 60 rupees, I used to spend 30 rupees of that on an internet cafe, trying to like do a bunch of different things, learn a different things. And I did this for 2 years until I struck something called SEO and I tried to understand what it is and how to go about doing it, right? So you need to have that level of patience for you to like say that, you know what, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. But at the same time, you shouldn't be like doing something uh, which you feel is not going in the right direction. Your gut will know about it. Trust me, you'll know that when you're putting in the right kind of effort, your gut will know that whether you're going in the right direction or not. Eventually, you'll see the light, right? But you have to put in the effort for enough time. And even today, I have the same mentality, to be very honest, right? 12 years, 14 years after that, I still have the same mentality. Put in the effort, you will be rewarded, and be patient. Give yourself long-term goals and make sure you supplement that with short-term goals also.
Awesome. Thank you so much, sir, for joining and tuning into this podcast. I really love the conversation. And yeah, looking forward to more and more conversations like this. And yeah, audience, goodbye to all of you. And